All right, welcome to day 3 of Big Miller Football Media Days here at State of the Art First Community Bank. I'm Kyle Sutherland on behalf of everyone involved. I want to thank you for tuning in again. We've had a great 2 days here. Got another packed day for you as well that we're going to get started with the 2-time defending state champion, 7A state champion Bryant Hornets. First off, I want to again thank First Community Bank for their incredible hospitality that has started from day 1 when we began doing this in 2024, and just how welcoming they have been to all of the teams. Also to Fox 16, Josh Berry and Courtney Mims, Paige Riley for their continued coverage, and also Fox 16 for providing lunch from Chick-fil-A yesterday, as they will also do today. Arkansas Select Volleyball, the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Sam Lane and Eric Taylor, appreciate their coverage over the past couple of days, and also Steve Sullivan and KATV for dropping by yesterday, Wednesday as well. So I'll go ahead and welcome up head coach Quad Sanders, who will introduce who he brought with him and give his opening statement.
All right, today I got 3 defensive guys, 1 offensive guy here with me. We usually bring 2 and 2, but we graduated a lot of starters, so he's the one returning skill starter anyway. That's a senior. You know, we have some young guys, but obviously this is a time for these guys to lead the show the way. Terrion Jones, he's a safety for us. Aaron Austin, he's a corner for us. Kyler Shebler is our quarterback, one of our quarterbacks, and we expect him to be the guy. And then Kavion Smith is our middle linebacker. Man, it's exciting. It rolls around fast, though, buddy. I tell you that right now. Seems like just yesterday we were getting ready for spring ball, and here we are again already getting ready to kick off the season. Expecting these guys to come out, man, and keep the ball rolling, and groom these underclassmen and show them what it's like to play for Brian and be able to have fun and just reach their goals as well. Because I know individually they all have goals, but I think at the end of the day they all have one goal in mind, and it takes a lot of work to get to it. Nothing's ever guaranteed. So excited for these guys, man. Happy to be here, and yeah.
Well, Coach talked about, you guys graduated a lot. Rebuilding is not really a word at Bryant. You guys definitely reload. I mean, you've done that. You guys have won 7 state titles in the last 8 years. So you guys obviously know your standard. The state understands your standard to some extent. But just talk about how you've had the buy-in from so many different young guys and a lot of new faces for people.
Well, I think the buy-in starts at an early age for us, all the way down to the 7th grade. We kind of try to mimic the same thing we do all the way across the board, moving on up until junior high. And then once you get to us, it's kind of second nature. The buy-in don't cost a lot. It costs a lot of time. But if you're doing it from an early age, you get used to it. And so I think these guys have just been used to it and accustomed to it being done a certain way. And then the buy-in takes care of itself.
And to the players, we'll go ahead and start down here. Just hearing what Coach Sanders had to say, like the buy-in starts very early. I mean, you guys I think y'all have had 9 undefeated crazy amounts of undefeated junior high teams. So the success is there. Just talk about that, how you get prepared at a young age. And by the time you get to senior high, you already understand what is expected of you.
Yes, they train us a lot, really. They push us hard, and we work as a team at it. So, we learn very early and at junior high, middle school, that we gonna have to win, really. So, that's what
I think really that we are taught a winning mentality. So once we're coming up, it's like we're already. It might be new, but it's something that we don't really have to adjust to. It's just that we got to get better at it.
And basically what they said, they already established that mindset in us from an early age. So once you get up here, it's just second nature, like Coach said.
Yes, I think he said the mindset, always winning. So keep the winning going for a couple years.
And Coach, one of the kind of the underrated things that's not been talked about as much. I mean, obviously everybody's goal is to hoist the trophy at War Memorial Stadium at the end of the year. But I mean, again, 7 titles in 8 years. You guys have made so many deep runs, and I mean that's taxing on a body to play to start in August. I mean, not even spring ball, but starting in August, playing into early December. And so Talk about some of the things that y'all do throughout the offseason as far as diet. I know y'all are really big on the weight room and all those different things just to keep the guys healthy, but also too, pressure is probably, there's always pressure, but it's kind of like, again, the standard at this point. But just the things that you guys do in the offseason, just because you always do go deep into the year and play in December.
Well, training has got to become football's a year-round sport, and so that's how you got to kind of attack it like a year-round sport. I mean, I know at the end of the year per se, you working for an outcome at a certain time of the year, but right after that, you get a couple of weeks to celebrate or not celebrate or whatever you're gonna do. If you don't win it, whatever you got a couple of weeks. But then you better get into it because everybody else is into it as well. And I think that's the mindset you got to go. It's year round with a few days off. You don't get the same vacation days as everybody else. And I think that's part of the buy-in process. As far as the pressure, you probably heard it before. I've said it before. Man, I think pressure is for a guy who can't feed his family. A guy who can't eat. A homeless guy who's looking for his next meal. That's pressure. For us, it's just another game. And that's how we approach it. That's how we approach it every week. Every week is another day, just another game. And I think that mentality helps us stay calm and do what you've been doing every day in practice. You've already practiced for every moment that you could possibly be in. You've already prepared for every moment that you could possibly be in if you've done it the right way. So then, in turn, there's no pressure. There ain't no pressure to win. As long as you do what you're supposed to do it how you're taught as hard as you can, we'll live with the result. Whatever that result may be. It may be winning, it may be losing. Of course, everybody in the world wants to win. If you don't, I don't know why you play football. And so winning is the easy part. The preparation is the hard part. And I think we're prepared for any moment, so we don't use the word pressure.
And Kyler, you heard Coach talk about there is a QB competition, but he expects you to be the guy. You split reps last year, got a lot of playing time. So just kind of talk about your progression through the offseason and just how that competition has gone along. Obviously, you got a talented quarterback room overall, but going into your senior year, just kind of your mindset.
I really just been focusing on, fixing the things that I could have did better last year. Really just working on my form and stuff and talking to my coaches, making sure I'm doing stuff right, getting my reads right, and that's really all. And that's what's gonna help me progress through the season and help me go harder this year.
I'll feed off that, and I'll ask the players too. We'll start down here this time. Just the other three. What are some things that you kind of looked in the mirror at the end of the season after you guys won another title, and all right, this is what I'm going to work on individually that I need to improve on?
Yeah, I could really did better beginning of the season instead of the end of the season. It's a lot of stuff to work on, like reads that really I need to get better at, and dropping better, and etc. But yeah.
One of the main things that I really wanted to work on is finishing during the catch, because I had a lot of pass breakups, but to be a top guy, a top dog, you have to finish that and have more picks. So really, my goal is to have more picks.
Yeah. I would say just working on being a leader, because we had a lot of seniors that left, so those are big shoes to fill. So really just focusing on leading the team, because there's a lot of young guys that's coming in. So.
And Coach, talking about this is a great segue to my next question. Talking about the so many seniors. What was it? 20? How many did y'all have signed to colleges?
25.
20. Great. So 25. I mean, that's 25, and obviously a big part of that is the success that you guys have had, the development that you've had, as you said, back to even before they got to senior high. But to be able to give so many young men the opportunity to play at the next level, I know that's what you guys expect as coaches to be able to do, but you as yourself, a former college player, former college coach, I know that's got to be one of the most rewarding things of being a coach.
Yeah, let me say this, though. I don't think I or we as coaches give these guys an opportunity to go play in college. And I think that's where the misconception of recruiting and everything goes. What we can do is help them prepare and be the best that they can be to earn an opportunity to go to college. Because no matter what you do, you can't convince a coach to do something they don't want to do. But what we can do is get our guys prepared, ready to play, and make the plays they're supposed to make and earn their opportunity. And I think for all those 25 guys, there was something down the road that they did where they took coaching very well. And we take pride in coaching them very well and getting them ready for the next level, not only to make it to the next level, but to be successful at the next level at an early age. And those guys took that very well, and then they executed it on the field, as the same as these guys are doing now currently. So I think that's what we take pride in, is just getting them ready for the next level, having them prepared, so when they get there, they don't have to leave or try to leave or worry about when they're going to play. They'll know before they go whether they need to redshirt or I'm ready to go right now. And I think that's where we are as a staff, and that's what makes us more happy. You know, we said it was 25. Well, only 22 can start. We're sitting up here with 4 starters now. So some of those guys didn't even start, you know, for Bryant, and they got college scholarships because they took a pride in whatever their role was. They've done it to the best of their ability. They bought into it, and so they'll make great players at the next level, whether that's 1 or 2 or a special teams guy, because every great team needs those roles. And so I think that's what we take pride in the most, is being able to give everybody an opportunity. If they're willing to buy into their roles on the team, wherever that role is going to be, you never know.
And when you have the amount of success you guys have had, it can tend to get tough to find opponents. You and I have talked about that
man.
and everything. And yeah, not to bring, I know it's kind of a sore subject, but obviously you're going to play the Salt Bowl, which, you know, last year that went back to a home and home format away from Memorial Stadium. So you open up with Benton as always. Then you play Alexandria, Louisiana. Now, have you guys scheduled anything past Alexandria?
Man, we've got one in the works, and we've had one in the works about 4 times, and it didn't work out. Right now, I can't believe I'm saying it, but right now we've got St. Francis out of Maryland. I think they were the high school national champs last year. Before that, I think we had Bishop Gorman, and that just didn't work out scheduling wise. We ain't rich, so we couldn't go all the way to Vegas on our dime. So it didn't work out because they found a closer game. But right now, we got St. Francis somewhere in there. I don't know if it's at Bryant, at War Memorial. I don't know where it's going to be. Still working out the logistics. Hopefully it goes through. It'll be a great test, but it's fun. You know, I like to play out-of-state games, so it doesn't bother me at all. But I just wish, you know, you could get more competitive games within your own state. You know, that way we can get, you know, the state the attention that it needs. Now, this may help. You know, this will help if we can go in and compete and possibly win a game. We never know. We don't guarantee anything anyway. But yeah, it'll be a fun one. We got a good schedule. We got a great schedule.
The same, that is just, it's basically all but signed is essentially kind of where it's at, right?
Pretty much, because we don't know the location or date. You know, it could be Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. It could be War Memorial. It could be at Bryant. You know, it could be at UCA. It could be UAP. I don't know. But their athletic director is in agreement with our athletic director to play the game for sure. So as of right now, we're playing them one of those dates, 10th, 11th, or 12th. I don't know. It'll be a fun one for sure.
Love it, man. Okay, so I got to just having talked about the amount of guys that went to college last year and hearing that. I mean, guys, that's a unique opportunity, especially for Arkansas kids to play that kind of I'm not saying it hasn't happened before, but to play that kind of competition. We'll start down here. You know, it's a testament to what you guys and guys before you have earned, but you got to love just the fact of playing that kind of national talent.
Yeah, of course, because they just like us. They don't win a national championship, so it's definitely going to be a tough game going into it, but it's definitely a great opportunity to play down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity for them and us, and really, it's just going to be us versus them. We're just going to see who's the best.
Really, it's just about who wanted more at this point. You know, we both high caliber teams, and we both want to win. So, and we both know how to win. So it's just gonna come down to who wanted more at the end of the day.
Yeah, what Colin said, we both want to win the game, but it's a mindset, want to finish and win the whole thing.
All right, guys. Favorite pregame meal? We'll start down on this end. Favorite pregame meal and favorite song or artist that gets you hyped on game days.
Oh, me? Favorite pregame meal gotta be that Fredo we get on pregame meals. And favorite artist is YB.
Wait, do we gotta say the song too?
The song or just artist?
You say song with artist, don't matter.
Pre-game meal, Alfredo. Most def, that's best thing. And then artists, I just go Rod Wave. Too.
I'd have to say my favorite pregame meal would have to be like the chicken tenders they give us, and for like the song, I have to say for artists it has to be Fat Mac, and then the song's called Two Red Bones.
Anyway, yeah, I'd definitely say that Alfredo though, but yeah, my favorite artist is YB also. So.
Coach, you chime in on that as well. Favorite pregame meal, song. It can even be a song back in your playing.
Man, I don't have a favorite pregame meal. I just like whatever we're gonna eat on game day. I'm good.
Brian has great pregame meals.
Favorite artist, man, I don't really have a favorite artist either. I got too many. It's too many. It's too many to name. Like, we grew up in an era where music was different. So my guys are old. One day I might be Dr. Dre, then Yo Gotti, then, I don't know. Boosie one day, it don't matter. So we all different. I got several artists. My playlist is different. One day it might be slow jams on game day, so it's just different. Not YB, though.
Definitely not YB. That must be y'all's Lil Wayne of this generation.
Right.
I swear. Can't understand a word he's saying. My last question is, and this is for all of y'all, starting down on this end, what makes football fun for you? Like, what motivates you? What makes football fun? Whether it's going out there on the field with your brothers, the uniform, the helmet, cheerleaders. What is it that gets you going out there on the field and makes you love the game of football?
Really, when I step on the field, I just know I'm with my family. Like, these are my brothers right here, so playing with them, that means everything to me. That's a blessing, so yeah, that's why I love to play football.
For me, it's just that I get to show what I live for in front of everybody, and it's not just me; it's just with my family on the field. So I think it's just a great opportunity for us.
For me, it's like the competition and being able to compete with my brothers on the field and be able to win with them, and that's all.
You're saying with the competition, and I love hearing the band and the trombone and everybody else. So in the pregame, so, yeah.
Growth. Being able to watch guys that grow and become different men. I think watching all these guys change their bodies, change their mentality and mindset change. It's just everything's different, especially watching them grow as a unit, on offense and defense. On defense, man, it's like watching this is about to be funny. But I gotta use it. On defense, you gotta be like an octopus out there. You gotta grab everything that come your way. Same thing on offense, though. You gotta have strong hands. You gotta be able to catch everything in your area. So if we can be like a giant octopus as a team, I think we'll be successful.
Hey, that's a great way to end. Hey, great job, fellas. Appreciate y'all coming back. And hey, look forward to the entire season. But certainly, hopefully what was it, what was the team?
St. Francis.
St. Francis. Hopefully, all right, sweet. Well, hopefully we get that one solidified. But yeah, I look forward to another great season from the Hornets. Appreciate you guys coming.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Nice.
All right, up next we've got the Cabot Panthers led by head coach Lance Clark. Lance, I'll pass it over to you and to give your opening statement, introduce who you brought with you.
Yeah, again, appreciate you always having us. I think it's an awesome deal that we do here in Arkansas and that you guys do here, Big Miller Media Day, kind of supporting high school athletics, high school football in particular at this moment is really great. So we appreciate you guys. Excited to be here. Introductions, okay, going down the line, I got 4 of my seniors here. Riley Cochran plays center for us, okay. Cameron Green plays defensive end. Bronson Alessandro plays safety, corner, really whatever we need to in the secondary. And then Carlos Lozano is a defensive back who's also going to play some offense. And so those are my 4 guys. Excited to be here with them.
First off, Coach, welcome back to Central Arkansas after a few years in Marion. You were previously, of course, assistant Little Rock Christian for those that don't know, but just talk about how that process has gone. You know, Cabot, a very historically great program. I know that's probably part of the reason why you took this, but just talk about how that transition has gone being back in Central Arkansas.
Yeah, Cabot is a storied program, right? It's an awesome responsibility and privilege to come in. I mean, the last 2 head coaches are Hall of Famers, right? So coming in after Coach Reed, who I have an immense amount of respect for, is a Hall of Famer, and then Coach Malham, who is, a Hall of Famer as well, and, championship coaches. And so coming in off the back of that in a program with tradition history is an awesome responsibility that we have to take seriously and that I take seriously of shepherding that going forward. But also then, what does it mean as the community and town and embrace what that means to the town and community and as the town and community evolve, right? What does that mean for us as a football program? And so it's really cool to kind of sit in there and sit in that sweet spot and figure it out and help kind of what could make the football program represent the very best of Cabot, because Cabot has so much to offer. Wonderful place to raise your kids, wonderful school system, one of the best in the state, wonderful athletics, facilities second to none, and tradition in the football program. And so kind of mirroring all those things and then kind of taking them to the next level, that's the charge. And that's why I'm here. And it's the highest level of football in the state of Arkansas. 7-8 Central is the SEC West, right? And great Hall of Fame coaches, great programs, great teams. And seeing how we compare to that is really just an exciting opportunity. So we're pumped about it.
Guys, he'll start down here, just go down the line. Hearing Coach talk about that, obviously extremely thrilled to be here. Just talk about how you guys have bought in. So if I know that, you haven't played a game yet, you just had a few months, but just how you guys and the team have bought into his standard that he's setting.
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer. He's brought in a lot of new stuff, and yeah, I think it'd be good.
Yeah, really excited to be here. With Coach Clark, he brings a new energy to the team. Very wonderful to see. A lot more energy than last year, I think it's going to be a very good program.
Yeah, Coach Clark, he brought him and a couple other coaches. They're great. They make us push harder. The energy they bring is insane. They just want us to be the best that we can be.
Coach Clark and the new coaching staff, they bring, like they said, a lot of new energy, or a lot of great energy, and they're bringing back that Cabot culture that we once had.
Coach, before we get super serious, I got to ask you kind of a funny one here. Look, I'm from Sherwood, so I've known about Cabot my whole life, Coach Malham and all those different things. He didn't throw the ball a whole lot, like ever. Probably threw it as much in his career as Scott Reed threw in a game. So I used to joke with Coach Reed about that, and is that something that Coach Malham's maybe messed with you a little? I know he understands like the today's game. You're going to throw the rock a little bit more, but is that
yeah? Well, he may
pretend.
pretend. He pretends he understands it because But what's funny is so we were in a golf tournament recently, and I golfed with Coach Malham, and as I'm hitting the ball into the water constantly, we're talking dead tee in the 50 defense, right? And so no, it's we're not running the dead tee. We might see some, but it's less what the scheme was. I'll be honest. What made Coach Malham great? Some people kind of attribute it to the team, but it's the culture. Cabot's a blue collar town, right? And the way that you're successful in that kind of offense and defense is you are a tough blue collar team, right? And that bones is what we're very excited about being a part of and elevating as part of the best what we have to offer. So yeah, certainly Coach Malham, he comes in the office. I have to give him stretch bands, as he goes and plays pickleball a lot. And Coach Reed's my boss, awesome, right? And 2 legends in their own right, that have their own thinking, and so getting both of them in my ear is a lot of fun.
And to the players, we'll start down here this time. So know that, last season there was plenty of bumps, definitely not up to Cabot standard, but you did win 3 of your final 4 regular season games before the postseason. So, it had some positive things there at the end, but just what are some things that individually you kind of looked at yourselves and were like, this is what I really need to focus on?
Well, individually, we've been, like all of us, like we've been trying to get closer together and bond together and be like one actual whole team and kind of just get better together and bring each other up.
Yeah, like what Carlos said, chemistry, I feel like is the most important. Throughout the season, we bonded more and we got closer, and I think that's what's important, fight together, lose together, win together.
Yeah, for me personally, to better myself and work with teammates, because we all have, like what they said, the chemistry to build together. I think that's very important.
Yeah, coming off last year, I think we did pretty good coming out. And then I think the chemistry just needs to be up, like they said. But, yeah.
And Coach, you played some, being in the 6A East the past 3-4 years, you played some teams around Central Arkansas, but for people that might be watching that aren't as familiar with what you're about schematically on offense and defense, talk a little bit about that.
I'm a big do what is necessary guy, and what is necessary is based on the context that you're in, right? So the context we want to build and the context that currently exists in Cabot, and those two things that go together. So, schematically, here's the deal. We want to be a physical, tough football team. Okay? That's on both sides of the ball. Football's pretty simple when it comes to, it's about blocking and tackling. It's the only two things that happen on every play. And the teams that block well and tackle well are great. I don't care if you're on the dead tee, the spread, if you throw it every down, run it every down. If you're in a 3-4, 4-3, doesn't matter. And we're going to do all of that. If the game requires us to run it every down, we will run it every down. Right? If the game requires us to throw it every down, we will do that. To me, I don't look at, here is who I am. You guys fit into my context. To me, it's here's who we are, because it's about us, right? And this is what it's going to require in this game. And so our systems have to have that in place, that flexibility to be who we need to be any given night. And fortunately, we got the personnel, we think, to be who we need to be on any given night. And that starts with how we train in the weight room, which is the most important thing.
I'm curious, so for the past few years, Cabot started off with Fayetteville. Now you're playing a very familiar opponent to yourself in Jonesboro. You actually head back up to NEA. You get away from there, and now you head back up there. Was that already, did Coach Reed do that, or was that?
Yeah, that schedule's already done, but I played Conway. Yeah. When I'm my time in Marion, I played Bryant. Obviously, I'm very familiar with Jonesboro. We also play Catholic, in the non-conference. I'm very familiar with Catholic. But every team, familiar or not, every team writes its own story. Right, so last year has no bearing on this year, whether it's my 5th year at a place or 1st year at a place. And so for us, Jonesboro is going to be a new team. We're a new team, right? How do we respond to that? But obviously, great talent, great. I love Coach George, a lot of respect there. And so it'll be a lot of fun going back up to NEA and seeing some of those guys because I spent 5 years there.
Yeah, sure. And I know you're 100% worried about the Cabot Panthers, but you pointed out there about how playing, you got Brad Bolding, state champion, head coach, probably going to be a Hall of Famer. There's, I know last year the 5 of the 8 coaches had at least one state championship, but at least half of them do at this point now. So, to be in that company, I know that that's a challenge that you're really excited for week in and week out.
Yeah, it's every coach, you go up and down. I have so much respect for the coaches in the state and the coaches in this conference. Coach James is a Hall of Famer, right? Coach Bolding will be a Hall of Famer, right? Coach Sanders, all he's done since he's got a Bryant is just win. Right, Coach Grimm at Christian. I know Coach Grimm, excellent coach. Coach Robinson Central. You can go down the line. These guys are getting their programs heading in the right direction, doing a great job, and that's awesome company. It pushes me to be the very best I can be, which is what I'm charged to do, to be the very best for these kids, because that's who it's about. It is about us. It's about Cabot, and what can I do for them? So absolutely, immense amount of respect for the people in this conference, and it's a fun challenge for me. But I don't focus on that. I focus on what is best for my kids. Here, and that's what we go for.
All right, guys, favorite pregame meal. We're going to start down there. Favorite pregame meal, as well as favorite hype song or artist that gets you going on game days.
Favorite pregame meal? It was definitely last year. The steak tips we had from Colton's, those were pretty good. Never had them again. We had them once. It's a shame. But it was a message. Favorite artist? I'd probably say Youngboy. I mean, it gets you hyped up and stuff. It gets you good. But yeah.
Yeah, I would like to say Sony's Barbecue, pulled pork. Oh my gosh, I'll tear that up. But favorite artist, J. Cole. You know, I like to be a mellow mind. You know, see, you get me.
My favorite pregame meal is chicken, and just chicken. I love it, every type of chicken. But my favorite artist is Youngboy also. Before games, he gets me hyped up.
So I'm a picky eater, so I eat straight chicken. So that's my go-to meal. And my favorite music, I don't know. I just listen to something calm before games. So.
All right, so now I have to figure out steak tips, chicken, and pulled pork, all in pregame meals to please everybody. Okay, good.
Coach, what about you? Favorite pregame meal and artists that you may listen to or song?
I mostly listen to podcasts. I'm pretty, before games, I'm not really listening to music. My favorite artist really depends on the time of year, right? If I'm outside in the summer, I like country music, right? Or, reggae or whatever else. But if it's before a game, I'm more in Carlos's vein. I'm probably going to calm down and listen to something really cool and mellow. I don't know. I got to obviously play more NBA Youngboy going forward. But that's really what it is. In pregame meal, I don't really eat pregame meal. I'm mostly just supervising during that time.
Okay. And I guess what's that one game? We can start down here with you. What's that one game that you're looking forward to? Might be a team that got away from you guys last year. Maybe going back to the playoffs or what have you. What's that one game that you're really looking forward to face?
I'm not really looking forward to any game. I mean, really just taking it game by game and just whoever's next up, really. So.
Yeah, what Carlos said. I don't want to play any team. It's just us versus us. It's us that we need to play against, and the season depends on how we play, how we practice, and how we just come out on Friday nights.
Yeah, I'm ready just to train and get better every day. It's a one day at a time type of thing.
Yeah, last night I was sitting in my jacuzzi thinking about just the questions that y'all would be asking, and I knew this would be one of them. And I'm just thinking, I'm not worried about any of the game. I'm worried about getting better now and working our way up.
Hey, we have jacuzzis. That's good.
I'm good. That was perfect.
Yeah, we've had two phenomenal endings to start the day. Well, guys, really appreciate y'all coming. Coach, again, welcome back to Central Arkansas. Looking forward to a great season from the Cabot Panthers. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
right, up next we've got the Episcopal Wildcats led by head coach Ty Forte. Coach, I will throw it over to you to give your opening statement and introduce who you brought with you.
First of all, man, we want to thank you guys for inviting us, man. We are very appreciative and for our program and for everything. First, we have J.C. Cooper here. He's a quarterback. He's going to be a sophomore next year. Nice arm, can play, smart, make good plays. Next, we have Riley Fields. He's our senior leader. Man, I can't speak enough about him, man. He's doing a great job leading the team. Since last year, he was hurt last year, so he's giving everything he has this year, and he's talented too. He's going to be able to play and make big plays for us as well. Next I have over here is Jazir Lockridge. He just transferred from Mills High School, man. He's a really good running back, shifty, can make plays, can do it all like a Swiss Army knife. Also, we have Joshua Mangy. He's going to be a junior next year, and he plays, like I say, everything as well, to O-line, to receiver, to linebacker, and everything. And that's it. We're just happy to be here.
Well, you know, I know that obviously when you came into this job, this was a program that needed a shot in the arm. And, you know, obviously you were ready for that challenge. And just talk about the buy-in that you have seen from your guys and just the hard work that they've been putting in.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, it's definitely a challenge, but I love challenges, and I love turning things around. We had a good group of kids that were there. Some left. A lot of them left, but we got some new ones in, so it kind of equaled out. We're working hard, man. We're running hills. We are sprinting. We are doing a lot of tackling drills. We are learning a new offense, and they're actually getting a hold of it and doing a great job, and we're coming along. And this year, we're just ready to compete and just play hard. That's what we're doing this year.
And for the players, we're going to start down here and go down just what Coach was saying there, just about the hard work and embracing to change the program and all those. Just talk about how you guys have really embraced that role.
So this year we've started getting more physical earlier in the year. You know, we've been doing a tackling circuit. It's kind of like a circus. You know, we've been getting more physical. We've been getting more physical early in the year. So during the season, we'll be prepared to like make the tackles. You know, get the stops on defense.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, and like it's all about like keep coming back. And, like it's like a boomerang, you know. You got to keep coming back, like to see the progress that you're making. So, yeah.
He's made a great impact so far. We go harder in the weight room. We go harder outside. We always digging in trenches. It's like a raccoon. We have to drive hard, dig deep every time. It's a bunch of hard work. It's very new, and it's going to make a great impact to our season this year.
Been big changes, a lot of changes in weight room, a lot of changes outside, longer practices, harder conditioning, all the stuff we need.
Coach, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to be relying on a lot. You might have mentioned some of it. You're going to be relying on a lot of young guys, you know, to come in. And at the same time, you know, if that is the case, then like, yeah, right now it might take lumps and all those different things, but to have them and continuing to develop them will eventually pay off. So just kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we're very young this year. Right now, we only have one senior that's here, which is Riley, and the rest are freshmen, sophomores, and a few juniors. Those classes are pretty good. Their freshman class we just brought in, man, they can play. We have Barrett Hudson. He's like 6'2", 385. Lineman, he just came in. He'll be in the 9th grade next year. We have Kai Turner, man, he's a stud. He can move. He's 6'2", probably about 250, 260. Can run from sideline to sideline. Can block. Can do it all. He's athletic. We also have Jace Boone. He has the Arkansas Fayetteville offer from the camp. Man, he's athletic. He can do it all. He's like a Swiss Army knife as well. He plays receiver, DN, linebacker, pretty much everything. So. The younger class, I'm going to depend on them. Jazir, also, he's going to the 10th grade. And Nick Grady, he transferred from North Little Rock. Pretty shifty receiver, man, he can play. So, yeah, we're depending on our young guys. But our senior right here, he's going to be the man to lead.
I want to ask you about Jace. You know, that's, you know, the best is yet to come for him, especially, you know, particularly at a varsity level. But when you're already getting guys, like I said back here today, but you're getting guys like that, not just with college offers, but from the flagship program of the state. That not only shines light on him, but your program overall. So that's big to get that off the bat.
Right. I mean, hey, getting an offer from them is very big, especially from the state. And I'm expecting others to get those also as well because they can really play and they can play on the next level. And we're excited and we're going to get them prepared to play on the next level. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get them prepared to play on the next level. Hey, we're going to work hard. We're going to show them how it is to work on the next level. So that's what we're doing now, preparing them for the next level.
And from the players, we'll start down here this time. Imagine, when Coach came in and kind of saw you, maybe watched some film, watched you guys in workouts, maybe sat you down, told you some things that you needed to work on. So what are some things maybe individually within yourselves that you focused in on throughout the offseason?
Main thing for me, coming off an injury, just getting back healthy. Just been focusing on footwork. I broke my leg last year, and so just getting back healthy, making sure feet are getting better.
Also, I'm coming off an injury, a meniscus tear, so it's been a lot of knee rehab. So that was a long time getting the work in, and just staying focused. It was a lot going on last season. It was the blocking of the team needed a little bit of work, and we've been working on that. So just a lot of footwork and blocking. That's it.
Staying consistent and learning the new playbook. Learning the blocking schemes, mostly just becoming a team with the new guys. And
last year, I mainly played linebacker and lineman. So this year, when I'm playing receiver, Coach has been helping me work on my footwork. Learn the routes, learn the plays. A whole lot of it's a different position, different set of things I need to learn.
And Coach, I know many remember, you at JA Fair and, you being the player, the great player that you were, and you've trained quarterbacks, you've coached, here and there throughout the years. But for those that may not be as familiar with you as a head coach, what are you about schematically, offensively, defensively?
I'm about what I have. I coach what I have. So if I got a quarterback that can throw it, we're going to throw it. If I got a running back that can run it, we're going to run it. It just depends on what I have, the scheme we're going to run. This year, I think we're going to do it all. So we may be 50-50. And see where it goes.
You touched on a second ago, just this year being competitive. You obviously have to walk before you can run, and really just you're establishing your culture right now, and you want your guys to get a taste of a win, all those different things. So obviously everybody wants to win a conference championship. Everybody wants to win every single game that they come out. But what are just some of the expectations that you've started with?
Consistency, being there, that's huge. Like I say, no team can be good if they're not there. So we've been working on everybody coming and being there consistently, and developing a bond and developing a work ethic. And that's what we're doing. So trying to be consistent, it's a standard now. It's a standard that hey, we got to be consistent. And that's how we're going to get better every day.
Yeah. So playing in a really tough conference. I'm not trying to look past your non-conference or anything, but we're just talking here, of course. And I'm not sure, you were at Forest City, right? As in City before, so.
Correct.
Yeah, so you were out there, now coming back to Central Arkansas. How familiar are you with the conference? Have you just been focused more on the summer? Have you started kind of scouting some of these teams, or even the non-conference as well?
We've been checking out some teams. We've checked out Clarendon. Let me start by this. All the teams are good. They got good players. We're excited to play these guys. But yeah, there's some good teams out here. We've studied probably about 3 or 4 right now. But we're just going to do it one at a time. So Clarendon's our first opponent, and that's what we're working on right now.
All right. Favorite pregame meal? We're going to start down here. Favorite pregame meal as well as favorite hype song or artist that gets you going on game days?
Favorite pregame meal? I'd have to go chicken and rice. Doesn't get any better. And then I like to listen to Kodak Black for games.
My favorite pregame meal is the same thing every time, no matter the sport. You got to go to the Tropical Smoothie, get the Bahama Mama, and the Chicken Club wrap. Gas every time. Yeah, and my favorite artist I like to listen to before games is probably Drake. He get me in the mode.
My favorite pregame meal probably like some fruit and like a rap, like a rap or something. And my favorite hype song or hype artist like to listen to before a game is probably NBA YoungBoy.
I mean, my pregame meal, I really just eat whatever coaches got for us. But last season, we did get a steak one time. That was my favorite meal of all time. And hype song, I'd really just listen to YoungBoy.
How about you, Coach?
Frog legs. Now, I would like I would my pregame meal would probably be some let me see, baked chicken, green beans, and mashed potatoes, and water. Who I listen to before the games, I listen to some gospel, Michael Jackson, and before the game, NBA YoungBoy. Yeah.
Seems to be the overall consensus of this entire media days is NBA. Starting down here, and all you guys can answer this. What is it about the game of football that gets you excited? Like why did you start playing the game of football? Was it, the fact that, you get to wear a jersey, your friends join the team, so now it's a brotherhood, the cheerleaders, the band, whatever. Like what really, started your love for the game of football?
It's really just about the community, and also when you win as a team, it feels good, and if you lose as a team, y'all lose together. So that's what it was for me.
I feel like what it was for me, growing up, I watched my big brother play, and he's still probably one of the best players I ever watched, and how competitive he was. And when I go out there on the field, and how the competitiveness, I like that. I like the feeling.
My father really impacted me playing football. He used to be a really good player that played at Parkview, and him telling me all his stories really impacted me to play. And, us having similar builds and size and stuff, it's really helped me come downhill and make big hits, and that's for the love of the game. It's my favorite.
I grew up just in football household. Everyone's watching all the games, screaming at the TV. That's what I want to do.
Coach, one final one I have for you. It's you made some really good hires on your staff. Obviously, Glenn Escola that you played for, is offensive line coach for you.
Yes.
Yeah, and you also Samuel Ojiboutu, defensive coordinator. Love me some Butu, but those obviously guys you've known for years and years and years. So talk about bringing them over to help you develop your guys.
Yeah, Butu was one of my besties, man. That's my guy. We coached together at Forest City last year, man. We did a great job. We just connected, man. We've been friends since when he was playing with the Razorbacks, we was friends because my cousin actually played with him, Elston Forte. So he used to bring him down. They used to come to my apartment. We used to hang out, and we got really, really cool then. And from then on, we've been really good friends. And he's bringing a lot of intensity. He's bringing a lot of energy to the defense. He's a go-getter. He's going to go get you. So I'm excited about what he's doing and what he's bringing to the team.
All right, guys. Well, great job. Really appreciate y'all coming down. Good luck this season.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we got the CAC Mustangs. They're led by head coach J.D. Plumley. And, Coach, I will throw it over to you to give your opening statement and introduce who you brought with you.
All right. Hey, we're super excited. Thank y'all so much for having this again this year. This is awesome for high school sports now that you're crossing over into basketball and things like that. So thank y'all so much for highlighting the programs and the players. We're super excited about this year. We have a squad of about 40. Our senior class is small again, but our numbers are in our sophomore and junior class, and they've been working extremely hard. I said earlier, CAC is a very, very special place in the fact that over 90% of our guys are multi-sport athletes, so we don't have that traditional winter and spring off-season grind. Our guys in other sports, and we respect that. My son and daughter are multi-sport athletes, so I can't get aggravated at that point, and that's one of the reasons why we love CAC. So the summer's been very important to us, getting our guys up there 4 days a week. We've had great attendance. We've competed very well at team camps and 7-on-7s this summer, and so we're getting ready. Our guys look different. You're going to see when we take the field, we have guys out there that are finally in the 190s and low 200s at the point of attack, and so we're going to be able to line up and run the ball a lot better this year. Our quarterback's he's a dynamic quarterback that can run and throw, so that helps. But these guys that I have up here today are going to be two-way players for us that are going to log over 100 snaps every Friday night, and so they're going to be kind of the backbone of what we got going. Starts with Brody Vanterborg. He'll be a receiver, outside linebacker for us. Colt Van Dyke will be a receiver and a DB. He'll split time at safety and corner. And then Andrew Lowe will be one of our S-backs, which is a glorified fullback, and an outside linebacker. So we're super excited, and obviously with our new facilities, new field coming, turf's coming to Mustang Mountain, which is going to be awesome with a new track. So we get Cutter week 1 at home, so we're going to be fired up.
Yeah, for sure. And this is year 3, and as you said, I think you mentioned played a lot of young guys last year. That was kind of the narrative I felt like talking about CAC last year, taking some lumps, but a lot of youth, and you see the potential there. So I know that, everybody's excited really you're still going to be pretty young, but a lot of experience with that.
Correct. It starts with our quarterback, Jackson Plumley. He got time as a freshman because of a, situation, and so he's had a lot of snaps under his belt. Last year, Cooper Mosley took some snaps from him where he was able to play more defense and receiver, but with Cooper transferring, Jackson's our guy. He's going to be we're going to ask him to run it 20, 25 times a night. He'll have to throw it another 15 to 20, and then he'll flip around and play some strong safety and outside backer for us too. So, his body's ready for it. He's 6 foot, 195. He's had a good off season, and so prime for him to kind of make us go with these guys around him. So you'll see some different sets back the way that we kind of like to move the ball with Coach Parker, more in our 30 personnel and 21 personnel sets, and be able to move the ball that way.
And to the players, we'll start down here. So that you guys have been under coach, seniors now. When Coach Plumley came in, y'all were sophomores. It goes without saying there's been, quite a bit of things that have happened since then. But just talk about now as senior leaders, leading a lot of young guys, just the pride that you take in that.
I would say I take extreme pride of leading this team, and we got a lot of guys that have put in the time and the work and the effort. We got the best tackle in the whole state, along with the D-line in Jackson Allen. Jackson Plumley's all-state quarterback, so I like our chances this year, and I think we're surprising people this year.
It's been a long process coming from sophomore year. A lot of long winters working out in the morning, but it's been fun, and it's an honor to be able to be the next leaders in the program.
It goes like when you walk in, it seems like we're closer than we ever have been. Like being around each other from 7 in the morning till like 10, you're just around each other. And it feels like we're more connected than we've ever been, like being leaguers and seeing that. It's just a good feeling.
And we'll start with you just to go down. I also wanted to ask you guys about what Coach Plumley said about the facilities. As a student there almost 20 years ago, gosh, that's crazy to think about. We were talking about that then. We were talking about turf. We were talking about indoors. We were talking about baseball and softball fields, which y'all already have. To see that, I know for me it's extremely special, but I know for you guys to be able to play on it and to take advantage, not take advantage, maybe not bad, but to have that at your disposal, I know that's really special as well.
Well, like
as seniors, we won't get to experience most of that stuff, but having that field, that's the big thing as a football player. Having that new field, that new turf, it's gonna feel great. Can't wait.
I mean, it's been fun to see how the schools like develop and be able to like be a part of the first step of the future. It's been fun.
Yeah, a lot of our donors have put into the time and the money into our facilities, and now we don't gotta go and just have meetings when it's raining. Now we can play on the turf, so that's a big deal for us.
Yes, it's been special thanks to Hayden Cruz, the athletic director, and our president, Dr. Andy Stewart, and our board, for really seeing this thing through, because it is a major project, and so the class of 28 will be able to utilize that indoor with the new elementary, and so, it's fun to watch and see it go on daily. So special thanks to all of Mustang Mountain community, but especially our leaders on campus.
You talked about Jackson at quarterback, some other guys. Jackson Allen is another one that's great off, one of the best offensive linemen in the state for sure. Who are some of the others that we need to watch out for this fall?
We've got quite a few. We've got Lucas Beck will be another junior back there on the back end on defense. We've got Ross Mounts that couldn't be here today. He's at a camp, but he'll be a senior Mike linebacker for us that will plug the middle. We've got Cameron Moats. That'll also be plugging in there in the middle, and then so our defense, we're with the looks that we're going to be able to line up and give, because we've got high football IQ, is going to cause some people some issues with the way we can line up and play. Offensively, starts with Jackson Allen. We've already mentioned Jackson Plumley. Eli Cash is back. He's just going to be a junior, so we look for him to have he's a 1,000-yard rusher if he can stay healthy, and that'll be big for us. Zach Withrow is a little slot receiver. He kind of reminds me of a little squirrel out there. He really gets after it and can change directions. It's hard to tackle him in a phone booth. We've got Brody outside. We've got Colt outside. When Andrew Lowe, 205 pounds to the point of attack for us. We're able to. I feel like year 3 we're not going to be as handcuffed starting out. Now with any 4A school, depth is an issue. And so you get a couple guys banged up, it kind of changes your A plan. But we have a pretty good B and C plan, and hopefully we don't have to get that.
Yeah, for sure. And before I'll talk about your conference, but you said you host Cutter Morningstar to begin the season. Then you got that long trip to Mena, and then another trip to Dirk. So just kind of talk about those, Matt. Cutter had a really great season in 3A last year. I mean, just a couple of years ago they were an 8-man, and they made that playoff run last year. So really good first test with new head coach Josh Brown.
Yeah, Coach Finley did a great job building Cutter back. I was able to hire him my first year at Malvern, so he did a great job getting that back. So Cutter's going to be a tough match. They're getting a lot of transfers in there, and so we're super excited to have them in our place. I've always thought the world of Coach Craig Bentley at Mena. When we had some battles when I was at Malvern, and so they had an opening, and so we're gonna travel there. They're going to be super physical up front. And so it'll be a good matchup for us. And then we travel down to Dirks to finish up non-con. So, we're excited about that schedule. Then we dive right into Heber Springs at our place week 4 and then go from there. Our conference has changed. We picked up Bauxite and Clinton and Harmony Grove and Mayflower. So there's going to be some new blood, in the conference, and we're excited about that. But it's I would like to think the conference got better with the reclassification. So we're excited about that challenge.
And Brody, we'll start with you this time. Just talk about some things that you guys after the season last year, I guess, played in the first round against Gravett. Once the season was over, what are some things that you guys focused in on throughout the offseason?
Well, we just got right back to work. It really wasn't a skip. We didn't skip a beat. We just got right back in the weight room, right back on the field. And it's kind of hard having our game field tore up, but having that practice field that we're able to get onto, we got right back to work.
I mean, like Brody said, right after the season, I think it was that Monday, right after we played Gravett, we were already back in the morning, just getting back to work. And it's a long process to get better, but we've been McLoving it. It's been great.
Yeah, so I would say just more time in the weight room and speed training. Just everyone, the faster you get, more time at the point of attack. So that's what we've been focusing on, throwing and catching. And I think that's going to help us develop and be a better team this year.
Looking at the records over the last couple of years, what are some of these, you may have already answered this already, but what are some of these years, these down years have taught you guys about, your program, resiliency? What are some of the lessons that you've learned over these last couple of years, starting from over there?
To that like Rome wasn't built overnight, so you just got to work every single day. That's in football, that's in life, that's in your job. It's a process, so that's what we've been working on, and now is our time. We're seniors, we were sophomores when Coach Plumlee came into the program, so now it's time to make that step.
I mean, we've been at the bottom of our conference the past 2 years, and we know what it's like, and it's not a great feeling. We hate it, and we work as hard as we can to not be this year.
I think it helped us. I mean, I love seeing our dudes hungry to go get more wins. I love seeing it, and that you can see it. Like when we go out there, 7-on-7 team camp, just in the weight room, we're getting after it, and we really want to win.
Obviously, 2023 was a really great year for the program. Obviously, you guys want to get back to that, and then in that, I'm looking at some of the losses you guys took last year. What's that one game or one opponent that you have circled, to kind of get some get back for this year, starting from you?
Oh, Heber Springs. For the past 2 years, they've taken it from us when we should have ended them right then and there. And this year, it's going to be a lot different by halftime.
Definitely Heber Springs. I think they beat us by less than 5 points, 6 points both years in a row now, and we were beating them most of the game, and it's just something that we got to focus up on.
I would say Heber Springs for sure, but I think the depth and the years that we've all played together, we know what it takes. In that fourth quarter, it's a different game, and so we know the environments we've played in, and we're ready for that, and we're ready for all the conference opponents this year.
And then lastly, starting from this end over here, favorite pregame meal as well as favorite hype song or artist that gets you really going on game days?
Favorite meal, I'm pretty simple. I like that chicken and pasta. I get that down and some bread. And then one by Metallica.
I like Marco's Pizza that we get on Fridays. And then artist, probably anything by Youngboy to get me going for the game.
Yeah, I have to agree with the young boy part. We got that speaker in there. As long as, we kind of had to turn it down a little bit last year, but when we get rocking, it's rocking in that locker room. I love it. And then probably the pizza too.
Coach, pregame meal, songs, artists for you?
I'm not a big eater on game day, so I'll take my Dr. Pepper and a honey bun. And then artist, I'm a kind of a George Strait, Alan Jackson kind of guy, just trying to keep everything. I don't need any more fuel to my fire as far as intensity, or it could be, bad on my part. So I try to kind of just relax a little bit, and but yeah, Dr. Pepper, honey bun, a little George Strait.
Well, guys, Coach, really appreciate you coming back this year, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you all.
lose.
Man.
All right, up next, we've got the Pulaski Academy Bruins. They're led by head coach Mark Kelly. Coach, I will pass it over to you to give your opening statement and introduce who you brought with you.
Yeah, so starting on the far left, Chase Hancock, junior receiver, great young man. And it goes without saying, all these guys are great student athletes and great young men. But Chase, extremely speedy guy, one of the best receivers in 7A, if not, state in the country. Tyler Galloway, linebacker for us, senior, great leader, tough kid. If we could have every single guy on our team have the same mentality as Tyler, we'd be a really good football team. All right, Austin Childers, junior, he's a defensive lineman, could play O-line if we needed him to. Just very versatile athlete, big guy that can run and move. Bryce Giddens, senior receiver, one of the better receivers I've ever seen. I mean, he runs really good routes, strong hands. He's going to have a heck of a year for us this year.
Well, for those that need a recap, Casey Dick leaves Fayetteville, Anthony Lucas leaves PA to go to Fayetteville, you leave Sylvan Hills to go to PA. So a little bit of, and that happens obviously in coaching. And so obviously you haven't been at PA that long, but I know you've talked about just how the community, how the school has welcomed you and everything. Just talk about that transition overall.
Yeah, obviously just the musical chairs of the offseason is always fun, but, change is hard, and I get that. And these guys have done a great job fighting through change and being good leaders for us. But the communities have embraced us with open arms. We're excited about it, and I think the people at PA are as well.
Well, I'll start with you, Bryce, on the end, just from the players talking about, Coach Kelly. And, you guys, I know Coach Lucas was there for a long time, somebody that you guys had played under for a bit. And so just talk about Coach Kelly. Obviously, he has a really fun offense to play in. So just talk about that overall.
I think that Coach Kelly, brings a really dynamic part to our offense. It's just really explosive. His playbook is extremely creative, I will say. And I think it really just brings our offense together, almost like kind of like a Mozart symphony.
Yeah, I think Coach Kelly, everywhere he goes, he wins. And I think the transition's been easy. He feeds us good. He's nice. He feeds us a lot of bologna. But, yeah, so.
Yeah, he brings a lot of energy to the entire team. He's been a great addition to us, and just all the food he brings, it's almost like a cafe every practice. And it's been really beneficial being able to replenish our bodies after hard practices, and he pushes us extremely hard. And yeah.
Coach Kelly, he's a great coach, honestly, man. He spent the most time with us on the offensive side and just trying to get us to understand the playbook. And I do know he said one day all the receivers will go to Chili's and get some baby back ribs. I do know that.
It's true.
Well, Coach, I've personally said on record for probably 6 or 7 years, I personally think you're the best offensive mind in the state. Just the way your offense is fun, but it just creating mismatches and all to getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands, all that. Just kind of for those that maybe haven't, people saw it at Conway for years and Searcy before after that, what you did at Sylvan Hills last year. So talk about the offense just a little bit and how fun that is to create those mismatches and just get players moving around.
Yeah, obviously, that's one of the most intriguing things about being a football coach is just being able to compete and find ways to win and do things like that. And obviously everything's tempo-based. We want to go fast, and that helps us to mitigate maybe some deficiencies we may have on the offensive line or defensive line where we can go fast and get into their legs. And we want to go fast. We want to put the ball in space, and then all it is counting. If you count to 4 or 5 in the box, you can run it. If you got 5 or 6 in the box, just go ahead and throw it. But you got to be versatile, and you've got to do a great job of tailoring it towards your guys and the players that you have.
And talking about quarterbacks there, you've obviously had some really great ones, and then one right now that you've got coming up is Caleb Sullivan. Got some time as a freshman last year after moving up from junior high. So talk about just the connection that you guys have formed already.
Yeah, Caleb is going to be a great quarterback, and he already is. He's a great leader for us. Obviously a young guy. He's going to be a sophomore, great stature, but the biggest thing about him is he's really smart and he picks up things quickly. Strong arm, he can push the ball anywhere on the field that you need him to. So he definitely has a bright future. Just got to continue to develop and continue to grow mentally.
And you took over, and I'm not going to harp too much on this. Everybody's talked about the Sylvan Hills and the turnaround there, but PA is coming off of a season that is not typical of PA, especially particularly in the 21st century. So, what are some things that you saw, maybe some similarities that you saw coming in, just that you looked at and pinpointed, like, okay, this is something that we really need to focus on?
Yeah. So last year was the first time in 5-6 years that I hadn't been in 7A football. So we know what it takes to win 7A football, and you can win probably half or more of your games just based on skill, then after that it comes down to you got to be bigger and stronger. Because everybody's going to be well coached, everybody's going to be great with the fundamentals. So we've got to continue to work on developing our bodies, developing the way that we work, and we got to be bigger and stronger, and then we can out execute people. But the biggest thing is we got to continue to develop our bodies.
To the players, Chase, we'll start with you. What are some things that you guys each worked on individually after the season ended?
Leadership specifically, because last year we had some moments where we didn't have leadership specifically, where everybody was kind of against each other. But this year we're really big on leadership and being there for each other and leading each other to be great, like in every little aspect of the game, in the weight room, clean the locker room, being the leader on the field, even in the classroom. So,
kind of going off what Chase said with the leadership, it's also brought us a lot tighter, like a lot more camaraderie, and that's helped us a lot, just bringing energy to every game and helping each other out. We feed off of each other. We've learned that anytime we come to a 7-on-7 tournament or a team camp and we're not playing with a lot of energy, we don't play as well. So the camaraderie, being able to hype each other up and being there for each other, it's helped us out a lot.
I think I've been getting physically better, getting my body right, getting more conditioned. Because last year, there's a few games where I was just like outmatched.
I think it's been a lot of competition. I think that's what I really liked. Coach Kelly's really helped bring competitive spirit to our team. Really just pushes us to be better. And I think everybody, when they're all competing against each other, everybody's really not to say on edge. We all know we're on the same team at the end of the day. But I think that us being able to push each other to get better has been a really positive experience during this offseason.
And speaking of competitive, Coach, PA is not. They're definitely very used to playing out of state in non-conference games. That's been going on for over a decade now. Go to Melissa, Texas to start off, and also play in Louisiana. And then you play a pretty good team also in between there named Greenwood that also has had a lot of success. So you mentioned the 7A Central. You know it as well as anybody playing or being the OC for Conway all those years. So talk about the non-conference schedule and how excited you are.
Yeah, obviously going down to Melissa, that's going to be a really fun game. I know Parkview went down there a couple years ago. And they talk about it being a great experience. So that's a big thing. It's also a fundraiser for a charity. So that's exciting as well that we can help with that. And then, of course, you have Greenwood, perennial state champion. I think probably favored to win 5A. And then, of course, Airline as well is coming up here to Little Rock. But going to be great competition, and it's going to set us up well for 7A Central.
And I'll ask you, too. I asked this question a lot last year because, the conference had five of the 8 coaches had won at least one championship. Obviously, your former boss, Buck James, who has 6. But just being in that league, and being the head coach leading it now, being amongst that company, I know is an extreme honor for you.
Yeah, it definitely is. And just being at Plastic Academy, obviously, it's like Beyonce. You're being told to put a ring on it. It's just one of those things that you got to embrace the expectations. And just like everybody else in the conference, they're a 7A coach for a reason because they've won a lot of games, had great expectations, and PA is no different. We expect to win, and we expect to compete for a state championship.
To the players, we'll start down here again. You can only play what's in front of you. There's all this debate about competitive equity factor, all those different things, but nonetheless, you guys have the schedule, and you're expected to play it and at the highest level. 7A wasn't the first time last year that you guys had played against that, but I guess I asked a second ago, what were some things that you worked on as far as honing your craft? What were some things that you really learned playing against the competition that you did last year?
I think for me, one thing that I've really worked on, especially during this offseason, is deceleration. Being able to create separation from your defenders is, essential for a wide receiver. And I think even if you might not be faster going against some of these bigger, more competitive guys, being able to slow down quicker and create separation to help with the ball out, I think is going to be really important this year.
I think I learned that 7A, it's like 7A, then this is like everybody blood. That's it.
Yeah, I learned that it takes a lot more physicality than it has in the years past, especially moving up from 6A to 7A. There's a big jump there, and I had to work on my speed because I know some of these guys are bigger than me. I'm on the smaller end of the outside linebackers, so I had to work on my speed and my hands and getting past these alignment on my blitzes.
Well, for me, it's just more so being active in the play and not taking plays off, and creating even more separation, like Bryce said, and working on that deceleration, and still being a leader, a vocal leader in a way, and just being a ball player in general.
Obviously, we've known that Pulaski Academy has been one of the top tier teams in this state for quite some time. But last year obviously was a down year for this group. You know, what did last year teach you, you know, just about resiliency and you know, just staying in the fight even though things aren't going well? What did last year teach you, starting from this person on down? What did last year teach you? You know, just 3 wins and just going through that, you know, just the amount of losses that you guys had.
Well, most of the games that we had last year, we were neck and neck with them in the first half, but we in the second half we would just let the other team take off on us, and in a way like we'd give up after halftime, and that this year it definitely has to change.
Yeah, mental toughness. There would be times we'd beat ourselves up after we make a bad play or we give up a touchdown, interception, any of that, and our conditioning might not be the best last year. So this year, whenever Coach Kelly came to PA, that we really changed that, and it's going to help us a lot going into the second half, being able to finish games and not giving up on ourselves when we're tired.
I think we learned that just winning's not easy, and that teams aren't just going to lay down for us. I mean, we're PA; they're going to give us their best shot. So,
I think for me, I realized how big culture really impacts a game. And I think that it's really important to build a good culture. You know, if people mess up, you know, you can't be getting on themselves, can't be too hard. You need other people to lift each other up so you can all do better as a team. And I think last year really showed me how much of an impact that has. And I think we're going to do a lot better this year.
For all you guys, what's that one game that you're looking at your calendar right now? Maybe a game from last year that got away from you. Maybe game 2 years ago that got away from you. What's that one game that you know you're thinking about right now that you really you know like the matchup and you really want to play?
Honestly, I can't wait to play Bryan again. I mean, it was close last year in the first half, and it just got away from us. But I think this year we're coming in with a different mindset, different coaching staff, and I think we're really going to get after it.
I want to play Fayetteville in the playoffs. They beat us last year, so yeah.
Yeah, LRCA, I mean, everybody wants to beat their rival. We didn't play too good against them last year. The year before that, we destroyed them. I mean, it comes down to who's going to show up that day, who's going to give it their all, who's going to finish the game whenever things aren't going your way.
Me personally, I want all 3 of those schools and Adam Conway.
Okay. Lastly, for me, you know, starting from this person on down, pregame meal as well as favorite hype song or artist that gets you going on game days.
I gotta eat some pasta before the game. It doesn't matter if it's chicken or beef or anything like that. I don't really care as long as I have pasta. And I gotta listen to NBA YoungBoy. Got to.
Yeah. Shout out to Waldo's. I love their chicken. It gets me going for every game. Love it. Love their sauce. And then artist. I'm gonna go Lil Uzi Vert. He just gets me in my flow state. So yeah.
I would say probably just like some watermelon, some chicken, something like that. And for song, I'd probably say I don't have a song. I probably have an artist, Drake.
For me, I've always been a really big fan of like steak and yams before a game. That's kind of my go-to. I think in terms of a song, though, if I had to pick one, I like to chill out a little bit. So I think Over My Dead Body by Drake is probably one of my favorite ones.
What about you, Coach? Finish it out.
Yeah, so pregame meal, typically just something real easy on stomach, like some chicken. And then, man, we had Chief Keef, Benito. We used to listen to that a little bit. It would get us going, but it's a good one. Obviously, the edited versions.
Oh yeah, knows how to run offenses and knows how to be a head coach too, but also knows how to adapt to today's kids, no doubt. All right, Coach, guys, really appreciate y'all coming over. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we've got the Mayflower Eagles. They're led by head coach Austin Emerson. Coach, I will throw it over to you to give your opening statement and introduce who you brought with you.
All right, we're excited about this year. We moved back to 4A after being out of there for a couple of years, and we got a lot of new starters that we'll have this year. These three seniors right here will be on the field a lot. Isaac and Martrell probably won't come off at all. They'll be on everything, special teams, O&D, and then Carter, he's been starting for us at quarterback the last couple of years. So glad to have these guys up here and excited for a new season.
I think the biggest thing last year, you guys did a lot of great things, but your defense was insane. Gave up double-digit points twice. Made a good run and everything. So you talked about how you don't have a lot returning, but just talk about how the new guys, so to speak, have bought in.
Yeah, the guys that are, quote-unquote new guys, they were the guys that were training with those guys all last year. So they saw what the work ethic it took to put in, and, man, they're hungry to find a spot. Like all these guys didn't have a spot last year, so we got guys jumping down wanting to be D linemen and are opening linebacker spots and safety spots. So showing up every day, putting in the work, and just trying to find their spot and make their mark.
Sure, and to the players, we'll start down here and work our way down. Best season at Mayflower in about a decade, and as Coach said, moving back up to 4A. So talk about the excitement you are to build off of that.
Yeah, we're pretty excited to get the season started. Last year was a really fun year, and I think we're just excited to play this year even more, just coming off that year, and trying to build on that will be really interesting, especially in 4A, new conference, new competition.
Yeah, moving up to 4A is going to be very different, and without like all the stars that we had last year, it's going to be hard finding positions and finding people who will fill in the gaps. But yeah, I think we're good, and I think we're going to do pretty good this year.
We had 22 seniors leave.
Yep.
22. So a lot of new open positions. Anyone can step up, play. Yeah.
Coach, if I'm not mistaken, the last cycle when y'all were, I remember you had Bauxite in your, a lot of these teams you are pretty familiar with as far as being Mayflower's head coach. So, I know you guys are just ready to line up and play whoever's on your schedule, but I would imagine that familiarity does help some of these coaches, some of the schematics that you'll see.
Yeah, I can't remember if they were in 8th or 9th grade, something like that. These years kind of fly by right now. But yeah, we were in conference with a lot of these guys, not Heber, not Bald Knob, but most of them, we've been around them for years. We kind of know the guys, know a little bit of what they do. So it's not really anything just new. It's just kind of recycling back. And we're always on the border of 3A, 4A. When we go 3A, we're back with those same teams we've always been with. When we're 4A, we seem to be right with these guys as well. So.
And like you said, quote unquote new guys, y'all obviously are familiar with them, the community's familiar with them, but maybe some of the outside world isn't. So just talk about some of those that we'll be hearing on Friday nights.
Yeah, some of the new guys we've got stepping in, they played a lot last year. Like Isaac started for us last year, Cade at the outside linebacker spot, but we'll have 2 new safeties, Martrell started, what'd you start? About the last half of the season, starting for us at corner. So basically we'll have new corners, new safeties, new 4D lineman, new Mike linebacker. We got Robert Gann right now playing Mike linebacker. He's been doing really well. On the D-line, we're working a lot of different bodies down there right now, trying to figure out who can do what we're coaching them to do and do it really well. Offensively, we got Peyton Harris. He's been stepping up this offseason, one of Carter's favorite targets. Isaac's been playing a lot more offense than he did last year. Last year, he was just more of a defensive specialist. As a senior, he's asked to step up and do a little bit more. Trell, also one of our best receivers. These 2 guys he loves to throw to. So, and then up front, we got 5 new offensive linemen. All our linemen graduated off from last year. So it is nice. They enjoy not having to block the best D-line in the state like they had to as a scout team last year. But it also, those guys sharpen them to make them better. So I'm hoping whenever they step in and get to play, they're used to playing those guys that played last year, and it'll set them right for 4A competition this year.
So the players, Martrell, we'll start with you this time. Just talk about some things that after the season ended last year that you worked on throughout the offseason that you felt you needed to improve.
I feel like I need to improve my route running and a little bit more speed. Yeah, that's it.
I think I need to work on communicating, make sure everybody's doing the right job, and making sure we're all focused, and that's about it.
I think the main thing for me was just working on being a leader on the field and making sure that I'm being a positive, helpful teammate to these newer guys and not tearing them down like I would the older guys, because they're older than me. They've been playing forever, and they've always been playing. They're different guys. That's the main thing for me.
Coach, you've been around Faulkner County for a while, played under Clint Conk at UCA, been at May. What's this, year 5? How long have you been at Mayflower now? Or is what?
This will be my 9th season.
9th? Okay, wow, I'm way behind. Sorry about that. So yeah,
Wow.
almost a decade. Wow, I was way behind. So, but that even brings up my question, the point of my question even more. You've been around for a little bit there, and obviously great community, great support system. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about being at one spot for a long time, people know me better now than when I first was there, and I know them better now, and they know what to expect from me, and I know what to expect from them. So it's just cool. Like a lot of these kids, I've coached their siblings. I've coached Frankie's family. I've taught Isaac's sister. Carter's been here since 8th grade. And I coach them all 7 through 12. So I get to know them at a young age, get to know their families, get to be with them for a long time. And I think it goes really well for us in Mayflower just because we don't have to go out and do anything crazy. It's just, hey, we're all here. We all want to be here. We enjoy playing football. We love playing football. And I think that spreads to everybody, and people understand that. So.
And you have an offensive line background. I always like to pick the brains of offense, front type coaches, whether it's offense or defense, because when you really break down football, the best teams at the end are in the trenches and running the football, things like that. So talk about how you build your teams from the inside out. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy that big bulldozers can move big piles of dirt, so you need bigger guys up there. So we spend a lot of time. We give them all weight goals to try to get there because mass moves mass, and you got to have mass. But I've got a great O-line and D-line coach in Logan Cope, and he does a phenomenal job with those guys, teaching them everything just as I would teach them, and that frees me up to kind of move to other spots. But those guys, we just work on fundamentals and technique. Like we were talking about that yesterday. We haven't added any new plays in probably 4 or 5 years, but technique is what we stress all the time. So just making the technique better, making the player better, loving them up well, and then they can do it with great effort, and then the plays will work.
I want to feed off of what Coach was talking about the community, having coached some of them. We'll start down here again. Having coached some of your siblings and family members and things like that. Now, a lot of people, they think about the Little Rock schools, Maumelle, and maybe sometimes pass through Mayflower, and then it's Conway, all that stuff. But having played at Mayflower before, I know how crazy it can get there and just a great environment. So talk about growing up in that community and then playing for the Eagles.
I didn't grow up in Mayflower, but coming in my 8th grade year, they're just a very accepting community, and as soon as you get in there, it's like a family for you, and all the guys on the team are like my brothers to me, and I love them, and especially coming off a great year like that, the community always showed up to the games, and they're always loud and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've been here my whole life. I remember youth football, after practice, going up and watching football games, and seeing Coach Emerson since his first year, and it's good. I like playing for him, and I like the atmosphere every Friday night. And, yeah, great people.
Yeah, like what Carter said, it's like family. I've been here my whole life. Anyone new join, automatically feel like family. Everyone's close, great atmosphere.
I know y'all won just about all of your games last year, and moving up, you won't see a lot of the same opponents. But when you look at your schedule and maybe you have friends at this place or that place, is there any game or two in particular that, and we'll start with you this time, Martrell, any game or two that you maybe have circled that you're a little bit more motivated? I shouldn't say motivated for. You're motivated for all of them. That you may be looking forward to playing.
Not exactly. I'm really ready for all of them. But I don't really know.
Not really. I would like to beat everybody. I mean, CAC was probably going to be the team that we've played the most, I feel like, and they're always kind of close, so say CAC.
For me, I feel like there's not one game I have circled like on the schedule. I feel like every week we should just go one by one and build up that wall of winning games, take every team one by one.
All right, let's stay down there and let's bring it across. Favorite pregame meal as well as favorite hype song or artist that gets you going on game days.
You can get on to this too, Coach.
All right.
My favorite pregame meal, I really don't know. Just whatever they feed us. I mean, they feed us something different every time. We really don't eat the same thing ever. So, and normally, I mean, I don't really listen to music or anything before the game. I'm just kind of with the guys, just hang out with them, and that normally gets me ready for the game.
I wake up every game day. I love smoothies. Smoothies, my favorite drink. It's very filling. I like. We listen to that YB Young Boy before games. Gets us hyped. And yeah, that's about it.
Most of the time, our pregame meal is really Chick-fil-A, so I just say Chick-fil-A. My hype song, probably YB, yeah, Young Boy.
I don't know who YB even is. But I'm going to say pregame meal, they are really slighting Miss Heidi. So Miss Heidi, if you watch this, you know that everything you make for us is phenomenal. She's like our main dessert lady, and she brings it every Friday night. And I don't have time to listen to music because I'm getting stuff ready for the game. So
That seems to be the overwhelming. You don't want to. You just want to focus on the surroundings, or the head coach is too busy talking to officials or whatever. So, all right, fellas, we'll really appreciate y'all coming back, and good luck this season. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
All right, up next we've got the Morrilton Devil Dogs. They're led by head coach Cody McNabb. Coach, I'll throw it over to you to introduce who you brought with you and give your opening statement.
Yeah, we got, to my right here, we've got Champ McNabb, plays wide receiver, and we'll play some spots on defense. We got Ethan Scott. Ethan plays offensive line, started for us last year. He's kind of the entertainment of the group. We've got Maddox Jones. Maddox played a bunch of football for us last year, and Maddox is going to play wherever we need him to play. He does a lot of things that help us win, and just Excited about the year. I'd say it's we lost a lot of starters from last year, and that's okay. I feel like we've got a lot of players that are ready to step in and fill those roles. And really like this team. I feel like this is a team that I see get better every practice, and that's a lot of fun as a coach to see kids improving daily like they've been doing.
Coach, I think it was you last year that when you came here, you talked about when it's real hot outside, you know it's about to be the season, and so it's right around the corner. You guys are had a great year, won 10 ball games, like you said, have a good bit to replace. But just you talked about the buy-in there and a lot of new plays. Obviously, you've dealt with this as a coach before, having to replace turnover. But just I know that the guys are extremely hungry to even build off of 10.
No, I think they're even more hungry. The fact that. A lot of this group is ready to step up and fill those roles that some guys left. I think this team has won a lot of football games in the past couple of years. This group of seniors the last couple of years has experienced a lot of good culture. They've got to see what hard work does, and I just think they're latching on to that. We've got a good group of young kids that we're excited about. Really think that we have some depth. I think some of it will separate as we get closer to season, but I'm excited about the team that we have and the way that they're attacking with work ethic, with trying to get better. I like the way they compete, in practice. I like the way they compete in 7-on-7. I like the way they compete in team camp. So, I think if that's something that we can continue, there's going to be some frustration. Probably going to be some frustration early. Going to be some adversity that we'll have to navigate through. But as long as they'll keep that mindset of we're just going to work hard and try to get better throughout the year, I think we're really going to like what we see at games, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And for the players, Champ, we'll start with you and work our way down. Obviously, Coach really believes in this team this year, has been very impressed with off-season drills, summer workouts, all that. So from you guys' perspective, just talk about your excitement heading into this year.
Yeah, so like you said, we got a lot of young talent, a lot of guys who come up, don't have a lot of experience, but have a lot of talent. And then, I think for us, it's our last year. We're trying to hit it strong, finish strong. We've won a lot of games in our career. We're trying to finish strong.
I think this team has done really well for these past couple of years. We put a lot of work into the weight room. We put a lot of work onto the field. We have a 6 a.m. morning practice, but we're ready for this season.
I'm very excited to see how this team can battle adversity because we are a very tough and gritty team, and I think that anything that gets in our way, I think we're going to be able to push through.
Coach, to start the year, Russellville, Valonia, Harding Academy in non-conference play, but man, the West got got a little bit rougher with You start off with Greenwood in there, and then right after that you play the defending. And I know Dardanelle's been in the 5A West before, but right after Greenwood you play the defending 4A runner-up. So no easy matchups whatsoever.
Yeah, 6A runner-up, 4A runner-up. And in a league that was really talented last year. The West was able to sweep the first round and make some deep runs. But an interesting year. A lot of the teams that we play, Russellville, new head football coach, Valonia, new head football coach, Harding Academy, we've never played them to my knowledge. He's been there a couple of years. And then, like you said, we start off with Greenwood and Dardanelle. We hadn't played those teams. You've got Harrison that has made a change. So there's a lot of years you can look back the past couple of years and kind of get an initial thought of game plan wise what you're going to do. A little more difficult this year, but that's why we do what we do. You can measure yourself against Greenwood, probably the premier program over the last 15, 20 years, if you add that up. So we get to, and they were in the West when we first got here. you know, several years ago. So it's been a while, but get to measure yourself against a program like that. And then, like you said, Dardanelle, that's coming off a great year where they were in the finals, and a lot of these other good, talented West teams. That's part of why you do it. You know, you want to be challenged. These kids want to be challenged. They've never backed down from that, and that's what I love about the place that we're at. There is a certain amount of toughness. There's a certain amount of we don't care. You know, we don't make excuses. We don't have an indoor. We practice in the morning, and we don't care about that. You know, that part makes it has been a great fit for me for a lot of years, and just have really that kind of mentality has been a lot of fun to coach.
Champ, I'm curious to get you heard your dad, coach/dad, talk about what Morrilton means to him. You know, your entire family overall. You know, you think about like Devil Dog running through your veins, and you've played a lot of snaps for this football team since your freshman year. So talk about what it means to be a Devil Dog to you.
Yeah, I think it just means being tough and overcoming adversity. You know, like he said, we don't have an indoor. You know, we just got air conditioning in our facilities last year. So, I mean, it's just the toughness. You know, I've seen it my whole life, being up there practices for as long as I can remember, always out there and always working. And no matter what happens, good or bad, we just got to push through and keep going.
No doubt. And also to the players, we'll start down here this time and go down. Just what are some things after that great season that you guys had that you felt like you needed to hone in and work on?
I feel like in terms of things we needed to work on, I think just really just attacking the off season, I think was the main message after that, because we knew that there was going to be a lot of losses after a great senior class, but we knew that there's a lot of talent coming, and we wanted to attack the off season, and we want to put emphasis on every day working hard.
One thing that we really, after season, we took the weight room a lot more serious. We got a lot bigger. We took practice more serious. We started showing up during off season. Summer, we really took that hard too. Team camps, we've been hitting those team camps pretty hard. But we really just like been after Joe T, we just like felt the team was like down at the time, but then we knew like we can come back stronger next season. So that's why we really started putting in more work, you know, off season. Then summer comes around, and then we got Russellville coming up, and so that's what we're just really ready for. That, I'd say.
And I think to add to that, I think you know, when we played really well that night in the semifinals, and you know, I think we took away from that the difference between winning and losing at that when you get that deep in the playoffs is very slim. And it's very talented Joe T. Robinson team that we played. They had all a lot of talent that's going on to play college football, but it still comes down to the margin of victory being very small. And we wanted to take and really talk about the little things and where you can make up some ground, and the things, just a penalty here or there that you have to avoid. Stay away from the big turnovers. Those kind of little things I think we took from that game. I mean, obviously you want to get to that point again, and then make the next step. But really talking about those little things that make a big difference in winning and losing.
I think one of the $1 million questions a lot of people have, you know, you graduated a two-time All-State quarterback in Maddox Berry. You've had a competition going on there. Has the gap been closed a little bit, or is that continuing?
Oh, I think I'm excited about what we have right now. Jacoby Chambers has done a great job. He's a guy that sat behind Maddox and learned, and his skill set's a little bit different. You know, Jacoby can make some plays you know, outside of the X's and O's. He can make some plays with his feet. He can make some big plays. And we have a sophomore that we're really excited about. I think his name's actually Maddox too, Maddox Turnipseed. He's a lot, to me, is a lot like Maddox Berry was as a sophomore. So I really think both of those guys are going to play. And, you know, as we get closer, we'll determine how much. But I'm excited about both of those guys. I think both of them have impressed me. We just need to take care of the football. You know, at that position, we need to get it where it needs to go. Let some talented guys make some plays and stay out of the early season, the inexperienced big turnovers that can really turn a game. You know, that's something that we've got to be careful of. But I'm excited about both those quarterbacks.
All right, guys, starting from you on down, Coach, you can chime in as well. Okay. Favorite pregame meal, and favorite song or artist to listen to get you hype on game days?
Pre-game meal, probably just...
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same all the time.
Superstitious.
We don't change that. I know nobody's going to get sick. I know that that it's going to be fine. Nobody's going to eat too much. Nobody's going to go hungry. So that part is a little bit my fault. But it's the same all the time. Colton's at Morrilton. We get some steak and some chicken and baked potato and a roll, and then somebody from the community will make wonderful dessert, and that's what we eat every home pregame meal.
What about the hype songs, since we know the meal?
For me personally, I don't listen to music before the game. I try to sit in silence, and I try to meditate.
My hype song would probably be, the artist I listen to before every game is probably Vaughn off 1700. He really gets me in the right mindset to get ready to go play against that D-line.
Yeah, so I'm not much music guy before games, but I always like to listen to Michael Myers on repeat, the theme song to that. I saw a Kobe Bryant video, he did that, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And it's worked, and I like it.
What about you, Coach?
No. I've just locked in on what we're doing. There's, like they said, there's no music in the locker room because everybody's got their own way of doing things and beats and that kind of thing. And I just want to keep reading over the game plan and making sure that's right. And my coaches do a great job of supervising the kids and making sure they're where they need to be. And that part of our game day tradition runs pretty smooth.
Guys, great job. Good luck this season. Appreciate you coming back.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, up next we've got the DeWitt Dragons led by defensive coordinator Drew Horton. Coach, I will pass it over to you to give your opening statement and introduce who you brought with you.
All right. First, introduce everybody. Cameron Mitchell, Jack Noble, Zay Cox. He's a big Argentina fan. He's been up all the time watching the World Cup, cheering for Argentina. And Caden Pippinger. This year, we're implementing pretty much a new offense, a new defense. These kids have come to work. They've had great attitudes. They've done everything that we've asked for them to do, and so it's been a real pleasure watching this.
Well, obviously you guys playing a really tough conference, as we saw last year, expected to be very, very good again. I know kind of injuries got you at times and all that, so just kind of talking about, as year one under Coach Hathcock as head coach, just talking about the mindset coming into this year and making some of those improvements.
So everybody at this table right here missed a little bit of the season due to injury, and a lot of them got their season ended prematurely. There's a sense of unfinished business with these guys because they didn't really get to do what they wanted to last year. And I mean, a 4-6 season wasn't what they were looking at or looking forward to, but the injuries and everything kind of prevented a better season. This year they're ready to prove a point to everybody that we're better than what we were last year.
And for the players, we'll start down here and work our way down, kind of feeding off what Coach was saying there. Just talk about from your perspective how hungry you are to not only return from the injuries that you sustained, but just to also change the narrative of what happened last season.
Yes, sir. We are. We had a good team last year, and the injuries really slowed us down. We felt like we could have been a lot better than we were. In this off season, we've been working hard, hitting the weights, trying to stop some of them injuries.
Yeah, I myself, I broke my foot in Game 7, and so I kind of spent the rest of the season wishing that I could have been out there. I think there's some games where, and it wasn't just me, it was a lot of us, and I think if there was a handful of games that if we was all out there, we definitely could have got the win. And like you say, it kind of makes you hungry. Our line this year, we've got 2 seniors. That's me and Yahoo Jimenez, who'll be our center, and I'm looking forward to seeing him start this year. We've got we have Trayvon Holder. He's been hitting the weights, getting a lot stronger. He calls himself the Gorilla. I'm looking forward to seeing him start this year. He'll be a big piece. And then our 2 tackles, we got Aiden Aaron. He moved from Texas this year. He's 6'4", and looking forward to see him play. And our other one's Jet Stevens. He's about the same size, and so I think we definitely can get some stuff done this year. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I would definitely say going out Game 4 was not on my agenda for the season. Sitting there, I missed the whole year. I missed this whole off season too. Sitting there watching the boys get better. I wish I could have been out there to help them more last year. But yeah, we got the pieces this year. Our secondary, we're gonna be good in the secondary, and we just want our secondary to be like Rihanna walking into the building. Everybody notices, and everybody knows something big's about to go on. So, yeah.
Yeah, going out early in the season last year wasn't really planned. Broke my ankle, but I feel like we're really hungry this year. These last couple of weeks, we've really stepped up. Position players switching positions. I feel like I've come into this quarterback role, kind of like George Washington, commanding. Just hungry for the year to start.
Coach, I was chatting with Coach Hathcock just about today and everything, and he said you've been at DeWitt for about 2 decades. Not to age, but here's my question. That's a little bit of that's uncommon today, to stay at one place for that amount of time. And really, I mean, you have guys moving around after a few years. It's very common in these days. And so just talk about the support that you have received from not just the community, the school, just the whole 9 yards.
So I grew up in DeWitt, so I've been in DeWitt my whole life, but there's nothing quite like it. If DeWitt goes anywhere in the state and plays some type of game, whether it's like football or chess or whatever, there's going to be a crowd there. They back us, and it's crazy, but there's no better support than what we have in DeWitt, Arkansas, and they're always wanting what's best for our boys, and it's a great little community to be a part of, and I'm glad to still be kind of contributing or being a part of it today.
As I told you, we'll start with the players down here this time. talking about your conference, like I said, it was super tough last year. I mean, it is every year, but I mean, just like the offenses and all those things. But I know you guys don't like Stuttgart, right? I mean, I'm assuming. No, I know it's a big rivalry, the Battle of Arco. Playing them is big, whether it's non-conference but especially in conference play, playing for a postseason seeding, it just amps it up that much more. So, talk about that rivalry and just what it means to each one of you.
Well, early on in our years of life, we grew up with them. We grew up with Stuttgart people. I mean, I grew up playing baseball with them. They're my friends and everything, but now we get to high school, it's kind of a big deal. We want to win. I mean, you could say we don't really like them, but at the end of the day, they're still our friends. They're still cross towns. I mean, they're still our friends, end of the day. We still want to win, though.
Yeah, it's a big game. It's a big week. You know, the preparation going into the week, the fans getting ready, the fans tailgating. It's a great feeling. The energy is great. The atmosphere is great. And it's really like one of those things that you only get like once in a lifetime. And once it's over, it's over. And you don't really feel that again.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite high school game I've ever played in was against Stuttgart my sophomore year. We had a really good game, and at the end, the atmosphere was just crazy. There was tailgates, there was class reunions. I mean, fans were so full that people ended up just sitting around the fences, and I've never played anything else like it. And it's just a game that you feel like, I mean, you know, Stuttgart was good last year, but no matter how good they are, you always feel like, you know, you can go in there and it's a game you can win. You know, it's kind of y'all versus them, and it doesn't matter what they've done. And I think, you know, that's just kind of how I feel. I think we can do it.
Yeah, it's always exciting. All the fans, and we got to Stuttgart last year. We knew they were really good, but we knew we had a chance because all the fans. We had some momentum, but we slowed down there in the second half. We're looking forward to playing them this year.
Yeah, for sure. And Coach, we talked about at the beginning, and even the players mentioned it, all the injuries and everything. But you got a good bit coming back. I mean, y'all got a lot of returning starters on both sides. So, along with these four guys, who are some others that we should watch for?
Receiver core, you got Marshawn Bowers and Ray Fry, and those two are big targets, fast. You know, Marshawn has 4.5. Not real sure of Ray's, but Ray can catch anything within a nice radius. Like this summer, he's pretty much had a highlight or two every time. Highlight catch, one-handed this, doing whatever. But those two, and then they'll play on defense too. You've got Kane Fisher, who's small but dude packs a punch. He's got a motor. He's always going 90-0, fearless. And I mean, when you're his size, you got to be fearless. But with the injuries, what really did happen was we got more experience than what we probably would have without that. So it stunk with the injuries last year, but it's a blessing for this year because there's a lot more experience. There's a lot, you look at it and I go, I've kind of got 9 returning starters, which without the injuries, I'd have probably had 7 or 5 returning starters on defense. Offense is the same way. Caden Golden's a kid that's been all over the place on offense or defense. And these guys, they're experienced now, and I think they're just ready for the season to roll and see what goes on.
I think I know the answer to this. Well, we'll start down here again this time. I think I probably know the answer to this one. Was there a game or two that you have circled? And again, with respect to all your other opponents, but since we're in talking season, is there 1 or 2 that you have circled on the schedule?
I will say nothing too crazy, like really, but Warren, I missed that game, and that was a really close game. I think we lost by 1 point, and I was on the sideline, so I'm looking forward to that one this year.
Yeah, I agree with Cameron. I'd say Stuttgart and Warren. Stuttgart always. I mean, you always want to beat Stuttgart, and Warren. We've played them both. We've played them really close both times I've played them, and I'd just really like to get a win this time.
I'm going to say Stuttgart and Monticello. Monticello has a great running back, JoJo. He was great, and there was not many people that could stop him. And I think everybody meets their match, and hopefully I'm his match when it comes week, whatever it is.
Ray for Stuttgart. That's it.
All right. Man, a few words. We're going to start on this end over here. Pre-game meal, favorite pre-game meal, as well as favorite hype song or artist that gets you in the right mind on game day?
Chicken and mac and cheese, and really, I just listen to Uzi pregame, Lil Uzi Vert.
I love Subway, anything from Subway, and 2 oatmeal raisin cookies. And then Pooh Shiesty, you gotta go 762 God by Pooh Shiesty.
Yeah, I'm going chicken and mac and cheese. That's kind of the usual. And I'm going first day out with T Grizzly.
Yeah, I'd say chicken too, and really any kind of rock music. I don't really listen to too much music, but rock music that'll get me going before a game.
Coach, what about you as far as pregame meal? And I can clearly tell that you're a Pooh Shiesty fan.
Oh, man. Anything, I've had enough chicken in my life to where that's one of those things, anything but chicken, you know, but it's one of those I'll eat, but it's probably, it's hard to say, it's just anything but chicken. And then, I mean, with the music, you just let Zay get on the aux cord and he'll pump you up, you know. You know, whether it's Pooh Shiesty or, you know, he'll go a little country. He'll slow it down if you need to. He works with all of the people in the room, so.
So clearly you were responsible when it comes to the music on the aux, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, cool.
Guys, really appreciate you coming back. Good luck this season. Thanks again.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, shout out Rodney Ross.
Arkansas Select Volleyball Club focuses on personal and athletic development of our student athletes and creates a safe, positive, and effective learning environment in which student athletes strive to achieve individual excellence within a team dynamic. We view the volleyball court as our classroom, transformed to teach lessons of character, discipline, respect, responsibility, accountability, commitment, leadership, work ethic, teamwork, courage, integrity, communication, the importance of sacrifice and sportsmanship, plus many other important values on and off the court. Search Arkansas Select Volleyball online or visit our Facebook page, Arkansas Select Volleyball, to find out more.